And again, thank you for joining us. We do encourage you, always get interactive. Get onto our streams, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, we're there. Get interactive. Let us also know what you think. And after Johnny's Bites, we have to also make sure that we continue the conversation for all the related issues that we're talking about. I have great guests joining us this morning. I have Kingsley Amwakwa Bwedu. He is a legal practitioner, teaches the law as well, and looks like he's dressed for the courts. And good morning to you, sir. How are you?
Good morning. I'm very well, thank you.
Well, great. And then also we have a former chair for the PNT, Bernard Mona. He's a regular on the show as well. Thank you for joining us, Bernard Mona.
It's a delight to always be with you.
And then also Edu Jitamaklo is also a legal practitioner as well. And joining us, he's also in white. I believe he's going to the courts. How are you, sir?
Good morning, and good morning to Chairman Bernard Mona, my client, and my senior here.
Bernard Mona is your client?
Yeah,
oh,
yeah. That he doesn't pay.
He doesn't pay.
I always want to remind him. But like you pointed out, I am in white this morning, symbolic, the swearing in of the Honorable Gyakye Quayson.
It's happening today?
Today.
Okay.
On Friday, the Electoral Commission transmitted the writ of election to Parliament. And today, with the help of the Almighty God, the Honorable James Gyakye Quayson will be sworn in. Roland, I think that it's important that I do this to salute the good people of Assin North. Today, they have once again demonstrated that they represent the conscience of this country. That today, they represent the mood of the country, the thermometer of this country. They have demonstrated that we have discerning voters. These are voters who have rebuked the corrupt, reckless, incompetent Akufo-Addo Bawumia administration, that their conscience cannot be bought with 200 Ghana cedis, now called Charles Opoku. It won't happen. And I salute them for what they have done to this country.
We have to start the conversation. Today, we want to take a look at all that is brewing on the controversy. And we know that the Domahini had said a number of things. And swiftly, we've had some reactions from the Attorney General. But look, let's straight away get on to, before we do some commendations on the Nkrumah Mausoleum, etc. Let's get on to the videos quickly as possible. First, let's start from what initially the president said.
Yeah, Baba Tuabe. Now, if you saw no way, Bama, the beer Baba Ambra. No, Jim Hono, or Jim Hono. Yeah, poor Piano Baba Sumbo. No, Piano Nasa Baba Hamaji. Let him be a newspaper move. I say North MP say, I say North MP say. Yana here. Yeah, poor Piano Baba Yajuma. Now the fiancé over to me about Edma. Maybe some who the fiancé over to me about Edma. And I demand out to me or prison. I die a woman out to me or prison. So I call Uncle Jim Mohoa, I go for the home. Nasan Abamo. If you say NDC for a penny, sir. Miss Ramo, Mamma, yes, I'm from so new. More pet obia. Oba be ye adwuma na de oba be gina ho na agina appeal court or Chief Supreme Court or Chief High Court ya no bi ne ye MP.
And all this then also generated, because this had already been part of communication of many assigns of the ruling party and government as well. So then we had another reaction from the Domahini. And subsequently, We also have legal practitioner who is also a regular on the show, Kwame Jantwa, and then the Attorney General responding subsequently. We play to you all those three.
As a matter of urgency, I'm appealing to the President of the Republic. If he has any role to play, that trial should be aborted. The Attorney General should, as a matter of urgency, file a nolle prosequi to end that.
The thing is that there is a political side to this particular issue also. One, Asin North is a swing constituency. Two, if it so happens that Gyakye Quayson is found guilty, the commentary would be from the MPP. Yes, the NDC brought Gyakye Quayson when they know he had a criminal case. People of Asin North and the NDC would say they are witch hunting us. When is it going to end? Look, for me, the Supreme Court's verdict came out. That should end everything. They expunged Gyakye Quayson out of Parliament. It should end everything. The MPP should go back and do their homework well. Because one, they rejected the president's presentation with regards to Gyakye Quayson. They rejected what the MPP said. So they should go back and try and build confidence within the people, because it's a swing constituency. Right. It can go either way. Right. Look, the next election, it could happen that the party in power might not have majority in Parliament.
I'm going to comment on it right now. I'll come up with a proper statement on the matter, and it will be in respect of all comments generally which have the tendency to subvert the administration of justice. I think that is very unhealthy for our democratic dispensation, and therefore we must not countenance.
Now, Labedu, you've monitored all the comments so far. What is prejudicial about what they said, the advisory, especially coming from the Domahini, and then even Janto, a number of people also have said, I mean, what is it? Why don't you just file a nolle prosequi, etc., to effect?
Well, they have. Good morning to viewers. Good morning to my Asim Fosu, my Sin Central constituents, as usual. They have expressed their views on the matter, and I think the Constitution gives everyone the right to express yourself. There's freedom of speech. It is the effect of what is said that at times we need to look at. That you would have a legal practitioner saying that a nolle prosequi should be issued. There are two prongs to that. There's a legal aspect of it. There is the political aspect of it. The legal aspect is Attorney General who would issue a nolle prosequi. He doesn't even need to explain why he's issued a nolle prosequi. He just issued a nolle prosequi to say that they are not interested in prosecuting that matter. Now, that would have to be hinged on several considerations. And those several considerations, some are at the cabinet level. Okay, and so when a decision is made, then he comes to court to issue a nolle prosequi. We don't know what is happening at the cabinet level concerning this. We don't know.
What you mean at the political level?
At the political level, exactly. What I would say is that even if that was something that should happen, trial has not commenced. Okay, and so I think those who are making those comments should allow the process to go through, and if at the appropriate time. Which is the process? It's just about to start. I'm not sure. I'm not aware. I'm not sure that even the witness statement, which is the evidence that should be served on the accused, has been said. I'm not sure. It may or may not have. So that they even consider it and prepare their defense and all that. There's an appropriate time where, because it's during trial, but before judgment is given. That's when you issue nolle prosequi. And then he as I said, doesn't need to give any reason for that. And so from where I sit, I am thinking that even if that was in the offing, the fact that it is being drawn to the public space doesn't augur well for that.
Why not?
Because
this is a case of public interest.
Exactly. And because of that, we shouldn't do things, and I'm roping in what the Domahine said. The Domahine, I respect him a lot. He sits on a very high stool, okay? And then when you go to his court, very brilliant judge, I mean, very respectful to lawyers. He's one of the few judges who would rise and come back and even apologize to the lawyers in court, and I love him for that. Very, very, very astute judge. But when he goes and sits on his stool, it's a different matter. He's not now a judge, he's a paramount chief. Okay. And I want us to move away from public opinion being used as a tool, as a pressure to be brought on the judicial process. Because this is not only the political colored case. There's Opuni trial, there's Edinam Tamaklo, there are several others. Okay. So then we will get to a position where, a point in time where all we need to do is whip up enough public sentiment.
You think that is what is being done?
That is what is being done, yes. And it's to get to a point where it will be whipped up to the extent that the Attorney General, future times to come, would have nothing else but to issue a nolle prosequi because the public is saying. Remember that the position of the public, of the Attorney General, is also a state institution. You see, so we should be mindful of that. We should be mindful of that. I think a very senior lawyer, I think at the moment he's the most senior legal practitioner. Lawyer Samuel Kujetu has commented on the legality of a judge, a high court judge, commenting on the Supreme Court issue and in effect.
That's it. Let me ask. If you go to Article 88, it says, and 88.1 says, there shall be an AG, of course, who shall be a minister of state and the principal legal advisor to the government.
Yes.
That said, it also means that he holds a dual position, one of legal and the other of political persuasion.
Yes. Continue.
Is it not true the commentary of assigns of the governing party, of government and its individuals, and capped on it, the president at that rally has now taken this whole matter to more of a political dimension than just of a judicial dimension. And that is why this has reached where it has, this crescendo.
Okay, so I don't want to go into whether what the president said would necessarily have a direct impact on the judgment to be given by the court.
Why can't it?
Because it is altruistic that a judge sits in court and determines a matter based on especially when it's criminal matter, based on the elements of the offense. Okay? Based on the elements of the offense. Land Court 2, the judge has sat to say that he would not adopt the previous proceedings. He had to go on appeal before it was overturned. So are you saying that whatever, and that was still the Attorney General coming to court on a matter, all right, on opening matter. And so let's not create the impression that all judges they don't have their own metal enough to determine matters, and that the moment a president stands on a public platform and says something, it has a direct impact. That is not how we were raised. That's not how we were trained as lawyers. That's not how those who have become judges, that's not how they do their things. I mean, you go to court, you win and lose on the merits. On the merits. And in the merits
of the case.
Yeah, the merits of it. And in this instance, a criminal matter is are the elements present? And even if they are present, is there a defense to that? That's what we're looking at. Okay, so if a judge is looking at this, sitting as an umpire, looking at the case, it is oblivious of whatever any political actor commentary is given. In fact, you can be as high as a president. If the judge has to make a determination, he makes a determination. Pure and simple.
Don't you think, with all the experience that you have, not only with the law, but also lecturing, and then also observing, and also writing, and influencing other lawyers and students of the law, don't you think that the president's comment on that campaign platform were prejudicial to the case that was yet to start at all?
You see, the president's comment, all right, was made on a political platform. Now, if you look at it very well, there is a silent if. All right, there's a silent if, because he, as a lawyer, the president as a lawyer, knows that judgment has not been pronounced yet. And so if he's saying, do you want someone who will be coming from spending his time in court and be coming from prison? It is a silent if.
Why should the president say that? Do you want someone? Is it within the purview of the president to say that? Knowing that
you are imputing that because he said that, the president meant that he's definitely going to prison.
What did you think he meant?
It is the if, as I said. It's the silent if, because there's a possibility. We all agree, unless you don't agree. There's a possibility, all right? And you see, then all this issue about dual nationality, and I've seen the strenuous arguments being made by some people from academia that allegiance doesn't connote citizenship and whatnot. I think we must just repeal those portions of the law. Simple. Let's not lose this intellectual somersaulting and political somersaulting to explain things away. Those provisions, they are obsolete. Let's remove them. It's as simple as that.
And until we remove them, the law is the law.
Precisely.
All right.
Whether we like it, I don't like that part of the law. I don't.
But it is the law.
But exactly.
Okay.
And so let's repeal those portions. And then let's get on with our lives.
All right.
All right?
And now, Edoji, Lawyer Boydu made a certain concise statement that the president was making his speech on a campaign platform. And I am surmising that Domahine was also making his comment on a paramountcy or a traditional council or chieftaincy platform. How does that become an issue of legality or influence of the court in any way?
So I think that we need to put things in proper perspective. And like I started my initial conversation, it's only proper that once again I salute the good people of Asenov who a week ago were prepared and determined to defy the odds and the influence of money to buy their conscience. We need to salute them once again. Now that said, you see, the level of hypocrisy and duplicity in this country is amazing.
And where is that?
Listen, not long ago, listen carefully, a court of appeal judge, listen carefully, who is also a chief, and I mean the chief of Nyangbo in the Volta region, in the person of Justice C.J. Honyenuga.
You mean at the time an appeal court judge?
An appeals court judge. He is given a warrant, special warrant, to come to the High Court to try no other person but Dr. Stephen Kwabena Opuni. Now get this. Whilst he was trying Opuni through criminal charges brought by an attorney general appointed by Mr. Akufo-Addo, right? Akufo-Addo visits him in his paramountcy, in his palace in Nyangbo. Now the chief, who is also a judge and presiding on the Opuni matter, what did he do? He went to town and started praising Akufo-Addo, whose attorney general had brought criminal charges against Opuni before him. Unlike Domahine, as we speak, there is no case before Domahine. In the case of Honyenuga, there was a criminal matter brought by Akufo-Addo before him. He was moved from the Court of Appeal to come to the High Court. He didn't see the need to restrain himself. He went as far as even praising free SHS.
How is that coterminous to this instance?
It is coterminous because, as we speak, The matter is still before court. And the strange thing that you need to appreciate is that in all of this, did you hear lawyer Sam Okujeto say, in fact, whilst Onyenuga was doing this case, Akufo-Addo now elevates him to the Supreme Court. Whilst he was doing the Opuni matter, he gets elevated to the Supreme Court. This is a man who, when Akufo-Addo visited his palace.
But the president is the appointer, and it shouldn't be because.
No, so
is it that you're drawing connotation between the two?
So I am exposing the hypocrisy and the duplicity. Today, lawyer Sam Okujeto had found his voice. He thinks it is conducive now to lynch Domahini. How hypocritical is he? Look, lawyer Sam Okujeto was the same lawyer who, after the distinguished High Court judge, Lady Justice Gyakye Quayson, had ruled that the decision by the disciplinary committee of the General Legal Council to suspend lawyer Xavier Sosu was unlawful and therefore set it aside. He took this judge to town, insulted and attacked the judge. Hypocrite.
Lawyer Sam Okujeto is not on set.
Hypocrite.
Be measured.
Hypocrite.
We refer to him.
Hypocrite. Hypocrisy. That is what it is. A judge, a fact is put before her. She comes to a determination that what has happened is unlawful and has taken a decision.
Well, lawyer Sam Okujeto is not here. So.
No, because why? He just spoke about Domahini. Strangely,
Exactly.
Please calm down. He has spoken.
He didn't insult.
I am exposing the hypocrisy and the duplicity. How convenient was it for him to attack Lady Justice Gyakye Quayson simply because of a judgment that she had given?
What were the words he used?
You want to know? Google it.
You want to know?
Google it.
You say he insulted.
But you see, the attack on that judge was deliberate. Because there are some people in this country who see themselves to be the law. They are above the law.
What do you mean by the above?
They are like, the biblical Nebuchadnezzar. They determine destinies in this country. But you see, let people know that even Osajefo, who fought for Ghana's independence, where is he today? Where is he? People must appreciate that in all of this, there is a day which is coming. The judgment day. All men, small, big, will have the benefit of standing before one maker. What is it that Domahini has said? Play the insert. He said, look, I am appealing. Those were his words.
Please get the Domahini insert again.
Let's appealing. If in this country, don't chiefs even appeal to president to bring development to their community? Were we not in this country when we saw Nana Ochehini Amwetia leading a group of chiefs in Eastern region because they said their roads were bad? It's an appeal. Beyond the appeal, what else did he do? Did he say, I am directing? I am instructing? No. He said, look, I am appealing to the president and the attorney general that if it pleases them, they should file a nolle prosequi and discontinue this matter. What else has the chief said? What else did he say? He didn't attack Godfrey Dame. He didn't attack the president. Compare that to the reckless and irresponsible commentary by Mr. Akufo-Addo in Asin North. Look, he went to a church of Pentecost in Asin North in a very highly prejudicial manner, incite the people and the court against Gyakye Quayson. It didn't end there. He went to Asin Breku Park and repeated those irresponsible, highly prejudicial comments again. The president is a lawyer. he knows that he's the appointing authority of the judge. He knows that the judge has taken a judicial oath to do justice to all manner of persons without ill will. But he was deliberate, very intentional in seeking to incite the court against the person of Gyakye Quayson. And you see, listen to the words the president used. In every criminal trial, there are two possible outcomes: conviction, acquittal. But you see, the president decided to go for incarceration. Or say, now listen to his words. Now, say, oh,
we have it.
Good.
We have the prayer. Please play the president's own.
Say, whilst we wait, say, oh, fiasia.
No.
Good.
No, Jay Mohono, no. Oh, Jay Mohono, no. Yeah, poor Biano Baba Sumo. No, be on the Nasame Baba Hamaji. Let him be a newspaper move. I say North MP say, I say North MP say. Yana here. Yeah, poor Baba Yajuma. Now the fiancé of Baba Yajuma. Maybe some would the fiancé of Baba Yajuma. And that man I will be in prison. I die a man I will be in prison. So Uncle Jim Mohoa, Uncle Fanhoma. Nasana Abamo. If you say NDC for a penny, sir. Miss Ramo, Mamma, yes, I'm from Sonu. Mon pet Opia, or Ba, or Baba yet a Juma. Yet your Babbage now, China Appeal Court, or Chinese Supreme Court, or Chinese High Court. You have been here. Yeah, MP.
As a matter of urgency, I'm appealing to the President of the Republic. If he has any role to play, that trial should be aborted. The Attorney General should, as a matter of urgency, file a nolle prosequi to end that particular.
So listen to the president. Say, oh, if
he mentioned prison. And no, fiancé, of course.
If fiancé of the outcome, how come that the president?
So your difficulty is that he didn't go the other way. But
you see, in a criminal trial, there are two possible outcomes, and the president knows it. Why do you think he went for the prison? And listen to Nana Domahe. Even when he was appealing to the president, he said, if he has any role to play, very measured, he restrained himself. I have listened, assuming that Nana Domahin is even in error. I have listened to one of the stalwarts in MPP, a former Attorney General of the Republic of this country, senior lawyer Gyakye Quayson, made the point that he believed that the time has come that the Attorney General should enter a nolle prosequi in this matter. Senior Gyakye Quayson was a former Attorney General of this republic, the very office that Godfrey Adami is occupying. This man has done it. But listen carefully. I have listened to Godfrey Adami yesterday, and I need to respond to him as such.
We'll come to that.
30 seconds.
We'll come to that. No, you just hold on. We'll come to that. Don't lose your thought. Just hold on to it. Now, Bernard, the reaction of the Domahini, and then also that appeal to the president, and then also asking for a nolle prosequi to be filed by the Attorney General. Somebody will say within the bosom of the law, the Attorney General has the right to say, I want to continue with the trial. Is that not the case?
A very good morning to you, to the two lawyers before me this morning. And I also want to take delight in commending the people of Asenof for heeding to the many voices that said that they should once again reject the threats by the new patriotic party, and for that matter, the presidency. Recall that in 2020, they went to Asenof when they realized that Gyakye Quayson could win the seat. They went threatening that even if Gyakye Quayson won the seat, they will make sure that he doesn't get to Parliament to perform his duties. This was led by the client of counsel here, Kennedy Ajapong, who stated in Locus Classicus that Gyakye Quayson would suffer.
This word, Locus Classicus, you know the effect. Please remove that. Change it, replace with another word.
Please continue.
Should I repeat?
No, go ahead.
Who said in Locus Classicus
explain it.
that Gyakye Quayson will suffer.
Like, what do you say? Use a synonym.
Exactly.
Once he understands, the other people will find a way to
Okay, please go
understand. He doesn't choose my words for me, and he is not my English teacher. So obviously, it was a planned thing. They threatened the people of Asin North. There are people called the bluff of the MPP in the 2020 elections. They went ahead to implement their threat. They managed to convince the courts to strip Gyakye Quayson of his right of being an MP. You decided that there was going to be a by-election, and so there was a by-election. You did not learn from the fact that the people of Asin North are not people that are timid. They could not be threatened. They could not be intimidated. You went there again with the same threats. They call your bluff. You should be ashamed. You should be worried that the people rejected you. And the manner in which they rejected you was so huge that any government will want to sit back and say, what have we not done right? You went there with all manner of goodies. The people simply took your goodies. And one of them that I was laughing at yesterday said, they gave him 200 Ghana cedis. And after that, he went and voted for Gyakye Quayson. They said that they are going to curse or they are invoking the gospel. And that he doesn't want he doesn't want curses. And so because of that, he's looking for them to give them their 200 Ghana cedis. But his conscience could not allow him to go and vote against somebody he truly loved and felt for. That is the extent to which you went to Asin North. And the president went telling the people that why? If you are in prison, how can you operate from prison? That is where everyone has an issue. That a matter before court, the president can already foretell that the outcome is a prison sentence. What it means is that the president has already convicted the person and is now left with the sanction to impose.
Is that your interpretation?
That is what it means. Because if the person is not convicted, you cannot be talking about the sentence. And so President Akufo-Addo, whose Attorney General is Godfrey Dame, they've already convicted Gyakye Quayson, and now they are talking about sentencing. And the outcome of the sentence is that the man is not fined, he is not even cautioned, that he will go into prison. The people said, prison or no prison, we will vote for him, and they voted for him. Isn't it enough for the many calls that we are hearing that, look, eat humble pie? Because everything you have done, democracy prevailed. The will of the people is far above what you thought you could do. And so for me and where I sit, I don't think that there is any difficulty in agreeing to what Ayikwe Otu, what Jantua has said, and indeed what the Domahini has said. What did the Domahini say to warrant the kind of things that Godfrey Dame was saying? And if Godfrey Dame cares to know, one of the definitions of democracy is government by the people, for the people, and of the people. And so when the people are speaking, you cannot say that it is a threat to democracy. Then it means that you don't even understand the Abraham Lincoln definition of democracy. Government by the people, of the people, and for the people. And once the people are the ones speaking that what you are doing does not sit with us, how can you come and say that it invalidates democracy? And that you are going to issue a full statement in that regard. If you want to issue statement, government is about what the people want. It is about how the people want things to be done, and the people are speaking. And I don't think that there is anything untoward about this. My greatest concern in all this is that prior to the Supreme Court declaring that Gyakye Quayson's name should be expunged, which is even a matter of debate still in Parliament, from the records of Parliament, was it not the same Godfrey Dame, the Attorney General, who went ahead to proclaim that the consequences that Ademusa Konde suffered, that Gyakye Quayson must suffer the same? Godfrey Dame said so. That the consequences that Ademusa Konde suffered, Gyakye Quayson must suffer similar. What does that mean? He virtually said that, why? Gyakye Quayson must go to prison.
Well, is it not because as the chief lawyer of the state or chief legal advisor of government, he knows that because he's in defense of this very case, he will argue and take sections from that ruling to be able to back his claim.
But if the Attorney General is ignorant of the facts of the two cases,
how can he?
No. If he's ignorant, Ademusa Konde, as I keep insisting, is my brother. Right? But Ademusa Konde had 3 nationalities.
You mean at the time he was in Parliament?
Yes. He was in Parliament. There was no attempt whatsoever, overt or covert, to ensure that he denounced or renounced his citizenship of the 2 other countries. He became a member of Parliament and was still enjoying the citizenship of Burkina Faso and that of the United Kingdom. He was a British citizen. So anytime he was traveling to Britain, all that he needed to do is that once he gets into Britain, he showed his British passport.
Whilst an MP?
Yes, whilst an MP. And that facilitated his easy exit of the airports and ensured that he had certain rights and privileges to enjoy as a citizen. If he was traveling to Burkina Faso, once he entered Burkina Faso, he used his Burkinabe passport. And of course, when he was coming into Ghana, he would use the Ghanaian passport to enjoy those privileges. How is that the case the same as that of Gyakye Quayson, who in 2019 had already submitted and relinquished his passport to the Canadians and called for the renunciation of his citizenship, which delayed. But before the elections, the renunciation certificate had come. So that is where the ignorance of the Attorney General comes in. So if you don't compare the facts as they are supposed to be, and then you come and tell us that because somebody willy-nilly decided that he will keep his 3 nationalities, and then he was found guilty. You say that somebody who deliberately decided to relinquish his passport, who was not in possession of his Canadian passport, and who actually got his certificate of renunciation and contested the election, the facts are the same. I think that, look, we must not allow too much partisanship to infiltrate into the administrative of justice. I think that, look, the people of Asin North, they've spoken eloquently, that no court in Accra or in Cape Coast can take away the court of public opinion from them, and that they are the people to determine who represents them. If you don't like it, jump into the sea, and then you can get drawn.
Olayabodu, at the end of the day, the Attorney General has a duty and an authority as such to be able to execute what he feels is not only his constitutional mandate, but also his mandate as the chief legal advisor. The tangent is going. He's on now. Is the right way, right? Despite all the calls.
Oh yes, you see, as I said, let's not forget the broad impact of what is being played on the.
What's the impact?
On a political scene? It is that, and I'm repeating myself, it is that public opinion is being brought to bear on the judiciary, so an Attorney General. As for the judiciary, it shouldn't even come there. The judges will sit on a bench and determine the matter based on the elements. And my brother was struggling to relate the Adamusa Kande matter
Struggling?
to
Did you just say struggling?
This one and say that they are not the
No,
same.
no. Can I
Now,
get you? Did you
the
just
elements,
say struggling?
the elements of that crime, all right, the elements of that crime are, at what point did you declare to the public official, and I won't go further, because then the matter is subject to case, so I won't go further. Those are the elements. It is not at future time whether you had still had purpose or not. And indeed, you see, the public opinion pressure being brought on the judiciary, I think that shouldn't be happening. There's another argument being made to suggest that my Lord Daniel Mensah is doing this so that he would also be promoted to the Supreme Court. We shouldn't even be talking about that. And I'm bringing it to show the extent, otherwise I won't even mention that, to the extent to which we are bringing public opinion into the judiciary when they are just supposed to go there and do their cases, all right, and determine matters and go home. Otherwise, the effect is so damning, okay? Now, the Attorney General, we shouldn't even get to a state where there will be an Attorney General who is not strong to the extent that he'll be listening to public opinion to determine matters which he should not prosecute for and which ones should be prosecuted. No.
You think pressure has been brought?
That is the issue. And it shouldn't get there. Okay? So that if in their own wisdom they decide that this matter, let's issue a nolle prosequi, we issue it.
What do you think?
Sorry?
What do you think?
About what?
Whether there has to be...
I have no opinion to share on this matter.
Even despite...
My opinion I've shared is that
even though despite
this
a former
law...
Attorney General Atukwe...
That is their view. I have no opinion to share. My opinion that I want to share, right, is that this law must be looked at and repealed. It's the members of parliament who will go... In fact, they started the process. And for some reason it's stalled. They must repeal this law. That is my opinion, all right? But the rest as to whether it should be issued, I think that lies with the Attorney General and the people who make those decisions. Let's avoid public opinion being brought to... The public can express their views in any way, shape, or form. It is their right to do so. But let's make sure that it doesn't serve as a pressure on so that we twist their arms. That is not the reason why it was set up. In fact, the Attorney General's position, he has two caps, his words, Attorney General and Minister of Justice. Him, the President, the Vice President, a few are the only ministries which are specified in the Constitution. There's a purpose for that.
But you do agree that as an office,
yes,
the Ministry of Justice, and then also as Attorney General, he has a political interest, right?
Oh yeah, that's why he's a minister.
Okay.
He's a Minister of Justice, and he advises the President.
So hypothetically,
yes,
if the criminal matter ends in the prosecution and subsequent imprisonment or prison terms being
as a sentencing
being
sentence, yes,
on Gyakye Quayson, it inures to the political benefit of the Attorney General as a Minister of Justice because of his appointing authority, the President. Is that not true?
You see, when you are saying theoretically, isn't it?
No, I'm not saying theoretically.
No, that's how you preface it.
Because the President has said that he will go to jail. So I'm saying that...
The President said that in the atmosphere of an... In fact, he also added that appeal court, Supreme Court. So he acknowledged the right of the individual to appeal a decision that he's not happy about.
So I'm saying that the President on that platform wants the man to go to jail. So
the President on that platform talked about a possibility of the man going to jail. And also talked about the possibility of the man going through appeals. And he said that all that time, it would have been better for the people to choose someone who does not have those challenges ahead of him.
All right.
Now, the people in their own wisdom chose what they chose.
All right.
So let's not...
So they face the outcome of the court, however it will be.